Hi everyone, my name is Logan Eilert, and I'm going to be talking about our mini case study for Module 7 in AEP880, and I'm so excited. I really enjoyed working on this case study. So just a summary of the characters and kind of the background. We have 4 main characters and then 2 kind of supporting characters. So Mr. Falm is Joel's dad. Joel Falm is the Falm's son, and he's also a student. Mr. Rolnick is Joel's teacher. Miss Falm is Joel's mom, and she works for a local printing company. Miles is Joel's classmate, and Miss Smith is the veteran teacher, and Mr. Rolnick's coworker. Just to give you a little bit more background, Mr. and Mrs. Falm are married. They're the parents of Joel, and they are Vietnamese. They live close to the school, and there's no language barriers as of right now. Mr. Rolnick is Joel's teacher, has a project for them to work on. Joel just wants to work with his classmate Miles and wants to meet with the parents and talk about the workload just to make sure each boy is doing the same amount of work, which I understand because as a student, I feel like I was doing a lot of the work in my projects. So, and then Mr. Falm, Joel's dad, does not want to meet with Mr. Rolnick. He wants to just talk with his son. So that kind of goes into the situation. Mr. and Miss Falm do not want to meet with Mr. Rolnick to discuss the science fair and the boys' project. A concern is there's no language or transportation barrier as far as Mr. Rolnick knows, so he's kind of questioning, okay, what's the problem if I don't see these barriers firsthand? Another problem is Mr. Falm's passivity about meeting with Mr. Rolnick, especially over the phone. He just kind of said, no, I'm not going to do that, and then is going to talk to his son instead of meet with the teacher, even though Mr. Rolnick did give him a very open schedule with open availability. And another issue is Mr. and Miss Falm are not actively involved in Joel's school life. So that's kind of the summary. And on the surface, it seems like, oh, these are just uninvolved parents. But let's take a look at factors that might keep the family from volunteering or being involved in his school. Question number 1, and that's question number 1. Lack of time. Maybe the parents are so busy, maybe they have other stuff going on. Life goes in highs and lows, and things just happen. Life happens. So, lack of time just could be maybe that Rolnick's schedule did not work with Mr. Falm. Just the attitude of their school staff. Maybe they've had a negative, and that goes into a negative experience. Maybe Joel's past teacher did not have an open line of communication, or just a negative experience for them in general. Maybe they didn't have a relationship with their teacher or something that kind of bothered them. Another one is just a cultural difference. Um, maybe there is that ESL language barrier. Maybe they want to talk to their son because they don't feel comfortable, or maybe they feel self-conscious about talking to them as talking to their teacher opposed to their son. And they trust their son, so they're going to want to talk to him about it. And then maybe that's in Vietnam, in Vietnamese culture, that is not something they do. Is they take maybe student learning into their son's learning into their own hands instead of the teachers. It could be a cultural differences. So my own experience with factors that just kind of keep parents from volunteering, just really that negative school experience is what I kind of experienced my first year of teaching. I had a parent who um, we did dibbles and map testing, and then we kind of put in our groups together for, okay, I'm going to work with this group of student on this skill and this, I'm going to enrich, I'm going to support, just kind of everyone's at different levels. I'm trying to make that personalized learning goal. And one of my students was going to be pulled out for tier 2 intervention of the classroom with other students just to get extra support. That student was still going to meet with me too, and it was just extra support. And I contacted the parents, and then um, it was really hard for them because she was really worried her daughter was going to be in this little box with no windows, not just has that negative school. She must have had a negative school experience because she kind of took it out on me or did not want her daughter doing that. But her daughter loved going and working and being with her friends and stuff. And at the end of the year, she apologized. She's like, I'm so sorry. You have there's such a community of culture, and I had to bring my admin in just to tell her, okay, this is Mill Creek, this we're not gonna do that. Just putting that positive school experience out there. Another experience I had this year was just language barriers, and that kind of correlates to a lack of communication. I have some ESL students, and the easiest thing I could do was just translate my emails to them. If I had a um, email, I could just translate it for them. I have in English and Spanish, so they could just have um, multiple ways of understanding instead of them having to translate it, then having them having to not really fully understand it. And that really just creates that parent trust, and they really appreciate that. Moving on to question number 2. So, how do you reach out to parents who might have negative school experiences? Meet the teacher night, family engagement night, open houses, field day at schools. Family interviews are a great way to get to know a little bit about the student, especially at the beginning of the year, and their families. A cultural project. This is something I did um, during winter time. I had the students fill out, like, a holiday they celebrate, a culture, they gotta bring a book in, like, we just talked about those things, and the students worked on this with their parent or their family, and then they got to share with the class, which was really cool. Parent surveys are a great way. The district can send them out, admin can send them out, the PTA can send them out just to, say, okay, what do we need? What could we be doing better? Multiple ways to communicate. Have a paper copy going home. Have emails. Have texts, pictures. Don't just reach out with the bad. Reach out with the good and the positive, and check-ins and updates. And then ask colleagues and coworkers. Maybe you're kind of nervous about sending this email. Ask this colleague or coworker their opinion or their advice. Ask them what they do if they have a parent who might have negative school experience. Ask them what they do or the next steps for you. So, staff knowledge and eliminating the barriers. It's really hard just to know. Team meetings, talking to people, and surveys, questionnaires really get the staff knowledge about, okay, this is going on, or like parents talk. So, it's just hard to know. And how to eliminate that barrier is just to start the school year out strong and do check-ins with family. Maybe after that first or second week of school, reach out and be like, your student is doing amazing. This is what I'm seeing in the classroom. Keep up the good work. Or, oh, here's a picture of something we've done in class. Hope you can ask them about it at home. Just little check-ins like that reaffirm and just strengthen your communication. And then that personal experience I have. So I try to keep everything student centered if I can bring it back to the student and why it's important. Just support from admin. I've had my principal had to like step in if something. Having admin that can guide you and help you and support you and give you advice, and just other coworkers is amazing to have. Share the successes and just be positive and open minded. Be open for what they have to say, or be open because they know their child better than you do. You're teaching them, but they've known them for however many years. So just be positive and open minded because that can go a long way too. Question number 3. What are some ways parents can be involved and demonstrate interest in their children's education other than volunteering at school? So they can just come to extracurricular events, get involved in karate, get involved with the school soccer team, get involved with the running club, get involved with student council. They could come to events like parent-teacher conferences, open houses. They can just ask questions about school. Having that Also, they can have that open line of communication: phone call, text, email, Zoom, paper, in person, whatever works for them. And it can be multiple things. You can email a parent, text a parent. I had parents' phone numbers this year. I would email most of them, but for some parents, I did have their phone numbers if they would ask me for it, just because I did have some students whose parents had to go through like surgery or that sort of thing. So it really gave them peace of mind that I could just be like, hi, this student is feeling sad because of your surgery. And then they would send them a picture and it would be good to go. So just having that open line of communication, whether that be email, Zoom, text, whatever. Classroom donations are a great way parents can get involved. Amazon wishlist, supply help. I had parents last year ask me, what do you need in your classroom? And that was amazing because it took the burden off me buying it or trying to outsource ways to buy it. Like, I have some students who didn't have headphones, so I had to go buy them headphones, but then I had a parent ask me, how can I help? So she got me some headphones also, which is really nice. And then just having that positive attitude about school and academics, because that directly relates to your kids. Reading together at home, working on homework, that can really just like bond you with your student as well, and the school connection. So my own experiences, stuff that have helped parents be involved in their children's education, is weekly newsletters. I update like our phonics skill, our math skill, what we're working on, social studies and science. So parents can either support that at home, they can enrich it, they can just ask them simple questions. Oh, I heard you were doing this in science day. Tell me about it. Or, oh, this is a phonics skill. Can you give me some words with that same sound? Just little easy things. I have a classroom Twitter page, which I try to keep um, everyone's parents up to date on there. So I share like crafts we're doing, or if we're doing a buddy room, or if we're having a field trip or whatever. I like to share that on there. That also takes a photo release too. So our school has a photo release, and every student is on that photo release. If they're not on the photo release, I will just cover their face up with an emoji. And just create homeschool activities. Like I mentioned earlier, I did that little cultural project. Create activities that are not a burden to do, but maybe just enrich, or maybe be like, okay, we're going to work on this challenge this week. And I want everyone to read with their student for 5 minutes today. And then the next day, let's do like, you're going to create a picture together. Just like easy, fun things that connect the student and the parent to have that positive attitude about school. But that is the end of my presentation and case study. I hope you enjoyed, and I really enjoyed being able to reflect and learn more about how to be open to all school experiences and improve my craft as an educator. All right, thank you.